open source passion project into a stable full-time career is no longer just a dream. It's an economic reality for developers who approach their work with a strategic mindset. This transition requires shifting one's identity from a simple code creator to a business architect. To navigate this journey without sacrificing financial stability or community trust, developers can follow a practical 4-stage blueprint. Stage 1: Strategic project selection and validation. Sustainable income begins at the intersection of passion and market demand. To build a viable business, developers must focus on creating high-value, load-bearing dependencies that solve critical enterprise problems, such as security, networking, or AI orchestration. True validation is achieved when a project reaches a critical mass of users who rely on the software for their own livelihoods. Stage 2: The hybrid monetization matrix. Relying on a single income stream is rarely sufficient. A successful playbook blends multiple economic models to ensure stability. It offers a passive core. By leveraging platforms like GitHub Sponsors or Patreon for baseline recurring community support. It has active services by offering high-margin, time-bound professional support contracts, consulting, or dedicated office hours for enterprise users. It builds a scalable product, developing an open-core enterprise version with premium features or a hosted software-as-a-service offering for long-term growth. Stage 3: Operationalizing governance and legal safety. A sustainable open-source business must rely on a legally robust foundation. This requires developers to carefully select standardized licenses, such as MIT or Apache 2.0, to maximize reach, or AGPL to protect cloud rights, and manage external contributions through contributor license agreements to maintain intellectual property control. Additionally, it necessitates proactive financial management, including tax planning and quarterly estimated payments, to ensure cash flow remains positive. Stage 4: Leveraging emerging funding ecosystems. Modern maintainers must look beyond traditional corporate sales and actively participate in the evolving funding landscape. This involves tapping into Web3 mechanisms like Gitcoin's quadratic funding, applying for retroactive public goods grants, such as those offered by the Optimism Collective, and seeking partnerships with companies committed to corporate reciprocity for initiatives like the Open Source Pledge. By treating open source maintenance as a professionalized, high-value service, this playbook empowers developers to build the digital infrastructure of tomorrow while securing a sustainable financial future today. The $8.8 trillion dependency highlights a massive imbalance between the immense economic value of open source software and the highly fragile foundation of maintainers supporting it. According to a 2024 Harvard Business School study titled "The Value of Open Source Software," it would cost the world $8.8 trillion to replace the most widely used open source software. To put this in perspective, if open source software were to suddenly disappear, organizations globally would be forced to spend 3.5 times more on software than they currently do. The paradox lies in how this value is sustained. 96% of that 8.8 trillion depends on just 5% of open source contributors. This intense concentration of reliance creates severe fragility in our digital infrastructure. Because this small group of critical maintainers often lacks stable funding or long-term support, the foundational systems that run our society are left exposed to significant risk. If these developers experience burnout, they can decide to step away from their projects. The burnout reality for open source maintainers is a growing crisis rooted in the extreme demands of managing globally adopted software without adequate support. This exhaustion is primarily driven by two massive burdens: the relentless grind of invisible labor and the modern phenomenon of AI slop. The burden of invisible labor. While building new features is exciting and often draws praise, the reality of open source maintenance is heavily skewed towards unglamorous, invisible tasks. The unglamorous grind. The most critical tasks in open source: fixing bugs, patching security vulnerabilities, updating third-party dependencies, improving accessibility, and maintaining documentation, rarely make headlines. Because these tasks do not directly generate revenue and are less appealing to casual volunteers, the burden falls squarely on a small group of core maintainers. The personal toll. The pressure to keep this foundational infrastructure running can severely impact a maintainer's mental health and personal life. Evan Yu, the creator of Vue.js, noted that many maintainers pour all their spare time into a project until they completely burn out. To survive, maintainers often have to force strict boundaries, such as limiting work to a 9-to-5 schedule and ignoring weekend emails, to avoid the 24/7 pressure of community demands. Fragile foundations. When these essential tasks remain underfunded and rely solely on volunteer time, the foundational systems of our digital society are left exposed to severe risk when maintainers inevitably burn out or step away. The onslaught of AI slop. In recent years, the burnout crisis has been drastically accelerated by the integration of artificial intelligence, which has introduced a highly destructive trend known as AI slop, the illusion of help. AI slop refers to low-quality, AI-generated code or bug reports submitted by users who often believe they are being helpful or who are trying to claim financial rewards. Daniel Stenberg, the founder of the foundational networking project Curl, describes a massive influx of users asking large language models to find a problem in Curl, make it sound terrible. Hallucinations and wasted time. These AI-generated reports are almost never correct. The AI frequently hallucinates errors, citing function calls or outputs that do not actually exist. Yet, because the reports are lengthy and sound perfectly reasonable to an untrained eye, maintainers must spend hours investigating and verifying them. The tax on maintainers. By 2025, approximately 20% of all security submissions to the Curl project were AI slop, while only 5% were genuine vulnerabilities. Stenberg describes this as an intense emotional toll involving mind-numbing stupidities that forces his small, part-time security team to waste countless hours. This phenomenon has created a massive non-monetizable workload, an emotional and time-based tax on developers. Breaking the bug bounty system. The abuse is so severe that projects like Curl have seriously considered dropping their monetary bug bounties altogether just to remove the financial incentive for people submitting AI-generated junk. The frustration with AI extends beyond maintainers to the broader developer community. According to the 2025 Stack Overflow Developer Survey, 66% of developers are frustrated with AI solutions that are almost right but not quite. And 45% complain that debugging AI-generated code is ultimately more time-consuming than writing it themselves. Ultimately, the combination of invisible labor and AI slop has transformed open-source maintenance from a passion-driven hobby into a grueling, high-stress job. It underscores exactly why transitioning to sustainable, professionalized funding models is critical to preserving the health of the developers who build our digital world.